Hey everybody, this is Miss Florida Hot Picks here, giving you guys an update for Pick 3 Virginia. I want you guys to pay close attention in the VA area, especially if you're seeing triples or false triples that are slanted. And the reason why I'm saying that is because there could be some really cool hits coming off of these. Not that I guarantee, and for some, you may have to be a little bit patient, okay? Especially if you see them repeating, could be telling you that certain numbers are indeed hot. So let's go back to July 13th, midday for VA 659 hit. Okay, so we're using the 317 rundown. And if you're new here, maybe you don't know how to count them out, they're very simple. You're going to add each of these numbers down the columns. Okay, so for the first column, we would add 3 all the way down. So 3 plus 6 is 9, 9 plus 3 is 12. For your 2-digit numbers, only use your ones, place your 2, okay? 2 plus 3 is 5, 5 plus 3 is 8, 8 plus 3 is 11, only use your 1. 1 plus 3 is 4, 4 plus 3 is 7, 7 plus 3 is 10, use your 0. 0 plus 3 is 3, and 3 plus 3 is 6, okay? You know that you did it right. The number you start with will be the number you end with. Then you would add 1 all the way down the second column, 7 all the way down the third column. Okay, so once you have your grid completed, I want you to make sure you pay attention to see if your rundown has diagonal triples or false triples. Now, a triple, you would normally see like 888, 333. Sometimes they will slant. But this is a false trip. Some people don't believe in mirror numbers. That's why I'm teaching on this right now. You could easily miss things if you don't understand false triples. Okay. For instance, this 388, 3 and 8 are mirror numbers. They're actually the same number. They're just opposite of one another. So when we're talking about the mirror numbers, I'm going to write those down so that you will have them. Okay, your mirrors are as follows. A 0 could be a 5, 5 could be a 0. 1 could be a 6, 6 could be a 1. 2 could be a 7, 7 could be a 2. 3 could be a 8, 8 could be a 3. 4 could be a 9, and a 9 could be a 4. Okay, all right. So with that said, make sure that you know how to use your mirror numbers, because if you don't, you may easily dismiss this and not think that it's a false triple. And the reason why you want to know this is because whenever you see a false triple, it could mean a couple things for your state. Some states, whatever number just hit, it could repeat, okay? And sometimes the mirror of that number could repeat. Like 659, 104. Know your mirrors, right? Sometimes in some states that happens. Another indicator is this. Sometimes numbers that come around the triples or false triples could be hot. Now, let's pay attention to this 190 and this 576. Look how they run literally right against that false triple. I always tell people, when you see these, pay attention, and depending on your state, pay attention, because sometimes some states like Missouri, I notice when you see triples and false triples, sometimes they like to just play their numbers across. Some states like to play them against the false triples. So when you see this, you may want to give yourself a few numbers to keep in mind. So when I would see this, I would say, okay, I would put down that 091 could be something, 576 maybe something hot. I would also go to the mirrors. Notice how this is a 388, but it changes 833. Okay. Make sure you know your mirrors now. So 021 is literally the same as 576. Okay. And 645 is the mirror of 091. Okay, because sometimes the family of numbers, you don't know which one they'll decide on. They may play its mirrors. This is why you need to know what the mirrors are. Well, let's say you held on to a few of those numbers for a couple of days. This is where the patience come in, right? So those that like to hold on to numbers, this could be something good for you. Okay, if you notice, if we go down just a few draws, 019, July 14th evening was the hit. Right there, 091. Okay, and it fell literally 190091. It was right against the slant. I love triples and false triples for this very reason. Okay, so make sure that you pay close attention to that. Now you're going to notice you won't see them every draw. They will skip around on you. So when you see them, pay attention to the numbers that are around them. Now I want to show you something that doesn't pick up as quickly. And sometimes you may see it a couple times before the actual hit will hit, right? So let's take this now to 019. We're going to go to July 14th. Using the 317 rundown. Now again, I happen to see what? 055. I know those are false trips, okay? And 500, okay? So this is letting me know to pay attention to these numbers. But there's a little trick, and that's why you have to know how to mirror. Let's take the number, being that they're going under here. Let's take the number 867, right? Or 768. We'll write down 768. Now 768, if you notice, could be mirrored straight across as 871. All right. It may also be mirrored as 268. Look at that. That's why you need to know your mirrors. All right. Let's look at the 312 or 213. See how that's going down? See how that 768 was going down? Now we're going to mirror that 213. Goes right against there, right? 213, if you look, 213 turns into 326. I'm just going to write that down. But it also can turn into 713 or 317. Okay. So I would hold on to those for a couple of days, right? And this is where patience, because a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to use this. Well, totally up to you. But when you start seeing that there's some patterns within these, you may think again. So I didn't see anything here, but I saw the 500 false trip. Now this time the numbers went up. The numbers went up. And you're going to see an 817, okay? A 123. See how they're mirroring off? 817, 123. Look at this, 317. Okay. If you use your other mirrors, which you should, you have a 362. Okay. 678. All right. And here you would have, I believe, that's 862. That's wrapped around here, 862. Okay. So I would be constantly checking my numbers and just comparing. You have a 768, you have a 213, 713, 268, 871, and a 32. So the same type of numbers. I would hold on, okay? Hold on to those numbers, right? They popped up again. But hold on, VA. Y'all popped up again with those numbers, right? Now watch this. This time you have the 132. Okay, let's look at the 366 that happened on July 17th. You got the 132, which mirrors itself to a 128. Okay, but if you go around here, you see a 137. So, okay. If you use your mirrors, you're going to see a 628. You're going to see a 687. Excuse me, 687. And there's one number I'm missing, 673. Okay. Now, there might have been some changes, maybe a couple numbers. I see the 123, that's stuck. The new one will be 128. 673 might be something new. 687 was there. 628 and 137 was there. So, pay close attention, right? Well, guess what? That 137, this thing was following us the whole time. 137 right here. 137 right there. 137. And notice they go around. Okay? Pay attention to that. 137 hit again. It hit literally 3 times, telling you pay attention to these sets of numbers. That was the family to make sure you pay close attention to. And the reason why I'm saying you have to know your mirrors is because sometimes you don't know which particular one they may want to use. So cover yourself. And there could be other ways that you may want to eliminate your numbers. But when you see these false trips, don't play with them. Anything that likes to repeat itself in mirrored form, you're going to want to pay attention to it. Okay? Well, VA, this was really fun. And there's also more. Trust me when I tell you, there's a lot more. But make sure you start off just with paying attention to triples or false triples. And if they like to pop up again, travel, keep those numbers traveling as well. Okay. Another thing, the line of numbers, they came up. Sometimes they would move to the top or the bottom. And it may throw you off because you'll see another type of number. Like this was a 293 family. And this was a 756 family. Look at what family was consistent in all the rundowns. That's kind of where you may want to stay with those hot digits, okay? So with that said, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I hope this is helpful. I will see you guys in the next video.